Thoughts at the Spot, episode 19, back-to-back episodes. If you haven't listened to episode 18, listen. We exposed those bum-ass Eagles. And if you're an Eagles fan, I'm sorry. It happens.
But episode 19, we're going to expose another fraud.
Really? You didn't call him fraud? Damn.
Oh, was that supposed to?
No, you can. That's your point of view. I'm kind of I'm in the. I don't know how to feel about it, but we're gonna talk about it. If you have heard of it or not, something that I've been thinking about lately. It's something that popped up in my my For You page on my TikTok, and that was crazy too. I wanted to get Joe's point of view on it. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I'm pretty sure you did because you called him a fraud. But George Lopez, I mean, how do you view what he had said?
So let's give the background. Let's give the context of it, right? So, he
has a podcast, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was with, I think I forgot the name of the guy, but he's another comedian as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just talking about, right, how they want to give back to the community, and this one comedian mentions Rob Barbosa.
Yeah.
And he's an up-and-coming comedian.
Yeah.
I'm not if you're familiar with his work or not. I've seen a couple on TikTok. Pretty funny guy. But he was just as this guy, I think I have his name here. I think he said Steve Trevino. So,
mm-hmm.
But the point is that they're just talking about it. He's mentioning like how he wants to make it easier for these up and coming comedians, and be help out the community, right?
Yeah.
And then George Lopez just comes out and just he literally says like, why you keep saying that fucking name? You don't know who the fuck that is, and saying that you should just look out after yourself.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't want to do that. Like he said that he already did. He left a template for everybody, and if they want to follow it, cool. But he's not gonna. Mm-hmm. Pretty much insinuating that he's not gonna help anybody out. It's just gotta look after yourself, and that's kind of what he was saying. And it kind of got a lot of
backlash.
A lot of backlash, and it picked up a lot of people because they were talking about it a lot. And I mean, at the end of the day, it came out that George Lopez apologized to Ralph.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to see your point of view because I want to see your point of view just because I like George Lopez. I always grew up a George Lopez fan. I always thought he was funny, and I still think he's funny. But at some kind of way, it kind of I could see I would say the pain of it, because you and I, being Hispanic, and trying to make a difference, and if someone like George Lopez feels that way of someone like Ralph, which he's actually killing it, he's actually doing well, it just kind of makes me feel like we're just bum asses, and because if he feels that way, I imagine what other celebrities or other people, especially that are like us, how they view us.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm gonna have some things to say, but first of all, we're gonna talk as far as like we're gonna be politicking on this one, but the Hispanic culture itself is they don't like to help one another out, right? Like we seen it, we heard it before.
We talked about it before,
and even the support, right, for us, right? We started this. I feel like we're basically on our own trying to make something happen, right? As far as like it'd be good to, and I don't know, maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but having our own family or friends kind of being like, hey, giving us a shout out or just letting everyone know, posting our stuff, right? And it's sometimes I don't feel like that it's that way. So I feel, and even I see it as a Hispanic culture. They don't like to see another, Hispanics succeed, right? If they're doing good, they say fuck everyone else. I'm good, right? They're like, oh, I got my money. I'm getting my bag. So, I really don't care about what you're doing, and stuff like that. And I think it's totally fucked up. I feel like we should be helping one another out, for once this our podcast grows and we're able to get more listeners, more viewers, and hopefully we have that where we break and we get something that's trending and viral, that we can use our platform to bring someone of our family and friends up that hey, I want to start this, or I want to start my own podcast. Can you give me a shout out on your podcast, and I'm like, sure, whatever it is, and I think that I would do it. I know you would do it too. I feel like we should both use this platform to help our own community, and also not just like our Hispanic culture, but just everyone that we can, But I feel it a way like George Lopez kind of pretty much just summed up what every other Hispanic and Latinos do. They're like, fuck you, I don't care about you, I'm good, I'm where I'm at. And it brings me back to where he even himself was like, yeah, Eric Estrada, the guy from Chip, that Chip movie. He's like, he said fuck me, and he didn't want to help me out with my career. And then as I'm reading more into it, I hear that Sandra Bullock was the one that helped kind of jumpstart George Lopez's career. And you see it, right? It's like it wasn't a person, a Hispanic or Latino. It was someone outside our culture that was like, hey, I believe in you, here it is. And for me, it's like, that's why I don't want to bring into like any race or any stuff like that. So I'm be like, hey, if we have any friends, anyone that believes in us or even doesn't believe in us right now at this moment, but help them out later on in their career and their whatever stuff. But to me, it was just fucked up what George Lopez said. It's just like, dude, like everyone starts everywhere. Even though you say you started the template, don't feel like you're just some fucking hot shit, right? There's many other people that have been doing it. You got Fluffy, you got I forgot the other guy's name, and I don't even think it was Latino, but it's just like to think so highly of yourself that you just disregard everyone else and say fuck you. So all I gotta say is fuck George Lopez.
Fuck George Lopez.
I never really liked him. Like I liked his comedy, and then during everything else that was going on, he just, I don't know. I kind of started seeing the different side of him, and this just kind of confirmed it. Who he really is. And for him to be like, don't mention his name, is like, bro, like, why the fuck would he say that? Just keep it quiet. Like, do your thing, and and he's someone else is doing good, and.
But when they always say that he knows it, he knows who he is.
Yeah.
That's why he keeps saying it, because he said it like a couple times. He's like, who the fuck's that? Like, keep saying,
And
but
that's my thing. I just gotta say, if I had to break and summarize it, is fuck that guy. Number 2 would be like us Latinos, Hispanic needs to help one another out, and we need to just believe in each other. Even if people might think this is just stupid shit that we're doing. Or whatever it is, but we like doing this. This is kind of like our thing that we like to do. So
yeah, so I mean, just you hear it a lot, especially the culture that we grew up in. But I mean, going back, to what with this whole George Lopez thing, but with the whole community, especially the Hispanic community, was just so upset with George Lopez just because, I feel like we understand as a community. It's tough, dude, because being Hispanics, you don't see people. I mean, we know George Lopez isn't we consider an A-list celebrity, George Lopez.
To me, he's like what's the lowest F? Nah, but realistically, he's probably like a B-list.
He's up there, but not as high like the other celebrities, like a Denzel Washington, Will Smith. He's not up there, but there is no other Hispanic that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
When you really think of Hispanics, well-known Hispanics, and it has a lot of following, you think of George Lopez. So it's kind of hearing this was kind of like a smack in the face, because that he's like, hey, I made it here, and pretty much everyone fuck off. I'm not gonna help anyone else to get here. So just hearing that, and just like it hits like that, because as Hispanics, our people are just very envidiosos. They don't want to see us succeed, and sometimes it comes even more from close family. You know, it's inner family that doesn't want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
You know, not really sure why that is. Never really understood it. But you know, our own people just, instead of, you know, if we tell them, hey, listen to our podcast, they're gonna give us a million reasons why it sucks. You know, but sometimes they neighbors, they hear they tell them, hey, listen to my podcast, and they do whatever it takes to listen to that podcast, you know. So that's why it's like with us, it's like sometimes we just gotta stick our hand out because you never know who's gonna need it. So now this doesn't make me really hate George Lopez, because it's the same thing. Like, I don't hate my people, and I don't really you know, I don't hate George Lopez. I mean, it sucks what he said, and you know, like I said, he apologized to Ralph. Now, I know maybe he said it just because there was a lot of backlash with this. A lot of people wasn't in the news, so maybe that's why he did it. But at the end of the day, you know, he apologized, and I mean, I hope he learns from this. You know, there's a lot of Hispanics that look up to him, you know.
Yeah. And I think who knows, you know, if that was him being honest and just being forgiving, and not forgiving, but like kind of apologizing. For me, it's like, and the way when I saw that, I'm like, either way, I think Ralph is gonna do good, because like they say, any publicity, whether it be good or bad, is still good publicity for.
Well, yeah, because now that I'm pretty sure this made Ralph even more famous than what he really is, or what he is now, because of all the, you know, the track that this got with, you know, George Lopez making this comments, and people that haven't listened to him will now have listened to him. So I mean, like I said, I mean, it helped him. And I'm not saying that Ralph needed this or anything, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna do big things in his career, but this helped him. You know, pick up. You know.
No, and I feel. I mean, I'm proud. I'm proud for anyone that's doing good. You know, and the thing about it too, like, I don't see our podcast as like, two Latinos doing our stuff right now. It's just like two friends, you know, doing our thing and trying to do something, you know, different than just a regular job, you know, and we know it's a slow start, but we know that we see that we can keep doing this and make something out of it. But I think going back, you know, as the thing is, I can say, you know, fuck George Lopez, whatever. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't wish anything bad for him to like lose his status or whatever it is, right? For him to just like not want to hire him, because at the end that's fucked up. It's just like I'm doing the same thing, just, you know, wishing bad things upon him. But I feel we can lead this into, besides George Lopez, just kind of like us as a community, as a culture, we need to do better. You know, we need to support one another. We need to make sure that whatever we're doing, and, you know, share it with the rest of us, you know, like, and be like, hey, this is how I did it. You should do this too, or just, you know, anything that can help us leave that 9 to 5 and make something out of it, you know, like I think that's how everyone should help each other out. And, you know, as I'm learning and going with this, it's just like we can say we did this ourselves, you know, we've been doing this ourselves. We're, you know, hoping later on we can get some you know, sponsors and other things going on for us, but we know it's a slow process, but we know that we see big things coming out of this, you know, and we're going to continue doing our thing and go hard with this, and you know, just give us a bit more time, and as we're growing and we're able to help, you know, everyone out there, like, you know, where we can kind of like give a shout out to your podcast, to your business, to whatever it is, you know, just give us time and we'll make it happen.
Make money moves.
Yeah. But and it's good. I mean, it's some stuff that we just, our community needs to do better. We need to not be selfish. And I heard it so many times, right? Like, I've seen it not getting that much support, but also hearing, you know, family and friends just being like, you know, you got, you know, you're pretty much nothing, you know, this is, you know, like a waste of time or whatever, you know. And I'm like, well, I'm going to still keep doing it because I believe in this, you know. We believe this, or else I would have been like, I don't want to fucking record anymore, you know. But
you just got to push through, you know. You get the negative feedback, and and that's why maybe, you know, especially our community they're stuck in their ways, you know, because they don't like change, right? So they like to just keep it. If they're comfortable in their lifestyle, they like to stay comfortable in their lifestyle, you know. And for us, maybe this leads to something else, or maybe opportunities. But we like doing it, even if, you know, like say even our own family members, you know, talk shit, you know, let them talk shit, you know, because that's just it is what it is, you know, and we just gotta continue because it's something that you and I like to do. Yeah. Even if it leads to something great, if it doesn't, you know, we're still gonna keep, you know, making these episodes and just talk about it, and you know, if it someday becomes something, we're gonna, you know, extend our hand even to those people that didn't support us, you know, because that's just what we gotta do, you know, because we gotta set example, you know, for our kids especially. But you know, like you said, our community has to do better. And it's not even just the Hispanic community in general. I'm just talking in general as a community. We just have to do better and help one another. You know, and we saw this a lot, especially with when COVID started. That's when our communities like split up the most. You know, people were overbuying shit just because they wanted to make profit and all this other stuff, and they let people that were in need of stuff. You know, they left them.
Yeah, well, they're being selfish, you know, like, besides that, and also during I didn't have a baby during that time, but during the formula shortage, you know, it's like hearing those people, and like we can say, right, we can say we're a bit well off, like, you know, but seeing those stories and when families, like, well, I can't even buy formula for my kid because it's gone, you know, we barely got enough money now to get it, and it's just like now we can't even get anything, you know. And I think we just need to, not be selfish and think about other people. You know, like it's what's all that I need for, you know, hoarding and stuff. It's like just get what's enough and then leave some for someone else. You know, and I know we can't really speak for everyone and be like, hey, make this change, and all of a sudden it's gonna be all rainbows and butterflies. You know, but hopefully to our listeners, you know, knowing that, and even viewers on YouTube, like just knowing, hey, this is who we are, and hopefully we can make a change to make a difference. But yeah, I mean, for me, I wasn't really worried too. It's just like, dude, if it runs out, then I'll just have to go and rob the house next to me or something.
But yeah, it was just like people that, you know, just like to hoard shit and all that stuff. And now same thing with like children's Tylenol. And children's Motrin, you know, there's people that were needed that shit. People are over here buying it just to make a profit of it. Yeah. You know, it's just like so fucked up sometimes where it's just like, shit, dude, people actually need that. And I love seeing those videos when people go back to the grocery store full with all that fucking shit because it you know, got fixed, and they trying to return that shit
and to get their money back because they're losing.
And I like it when they turn them down. Yeah, and
it's the same thing. I mean, you know, we can talk besides like formula. You even saw during the PS5, right, when they first came out, people, scalpers and all that. You know, I seen a few people and I'm like, what are you doing? You know, they're like, oh, I bought 3 PlayStations. I'm selling this version for like 1,000, 1,200 or whatever, you know. And I'm just like, and in seeing that person, you'd be like, well, aren't you seem like you were a chill like person that wouldn't be, you know, thinking like that, you know, like being greedy and shit, you know. And for me, I kind of wanted to expose it, like, but I'm like, no, it is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, it's not my conscience, not my person that's gonna feel that way. Yeah. But I just feel it was fucked up, you know. And then all of a sudden, like, they were doing that for so long, and now you find PlayStations, you know, and you know, seeing like, well, now they can't even sell for what they were trying to get a profit for, you know, because now they're screwed themselves in the foot. Yeah. And I like seeing that too, but part of me is like, dude, like, you got greedy, you know, and greed is bitch.
Yeah. These people just get greedy and. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, but now I've seen so many, and it's like for me, right? Those people who or people don't believe, or people that I know are very selfish. At the end of the day, I still wouldn't like wish any worse upon them. I wouldn't be like, oh, hopefully they lose their job, or hopefully they, you know, life happens and shit. Because at the end of the day, it might be family, it might be friends, and I wouldn't want them to see that, you know. And I wouldn't want to also be in that situation, and feeling that way, you know, and like, oh well, someone must have been wishing this upon me. It's like, no, it's just my own fault, whatever I did, you know. But it's fucked up.
Yeah. It's a sad, cruel world out there.
But yeah, so all I gotta say again is George Lopez. If I can get you on the podcast, I still would say what I would say. I don't see him. Yeah. Honestly, I don't see him as like I don't see him as a celebrity, and I don't see him as like I wouldn't be starstruck. Like if I saw him walking, you know, downtown, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's George Lopez. I'd be like, cool. You know?
Well, I kind of would be starstruck, but now I kind of feel like he wouldn't want to talk to me though.
Yeah, but hey, George Lopez, we got our episode Thoughts of the Spot, you know, and they're like,
okay, like, cool. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck are you?
It's like, hey, there, no, you know what I'm saying? But there's a few, you know, there's a few that I see as my, like, oh, these people would be good to meet down there.
Dude, but I just realized like how he's, I mean, going a little bit off track, but it's like, I'm just reading the article and it's episode 97 of his podcast. I'm like, fuck, everybody has a fucking podcast, bro. Even celebrities, even like YouTubers or, you know, influencers, celebrities, even right now Travis Kelce, you know, and his brother, like they all fucking started podcasts, you know. You know, this is the up and coming for podcasts is just so great just because you get to hear these people's point of views and everything, and you know, some are funny, some are educational, but like it's cool to hear all this stuff. But it's also like, damn, I didn't think a lot of people were doing these podcasts.
Yeah, and I think people do it like you said, right? It's to see the other side of that person. Like you can see us like as, you know, when we're in family events or stuff like that, or people that know us, you know, they probably see us like either serious, funny, but then there's like actual like parts of us, like right when we talked about one of our episodes, I think it was episode 9 about mental health, you know, that kind of like our personal stuff, and even now like how we are sharing what we actually feel about, you know, how we feel about our own community, and this is how it is, you know, like, and for us, like, this is us. If you don't like it, don't listen to us. Maybe follow us, but don't listen. Just kidding.
It's like still follow, don't listen.
Still follow us, you know. But yeah, dude, this is who we are, and I feel like celebrities and people are noticing that, like, hey, we can either use, you know, have this type of other way for additional, and you know, they can start a podcast and then right away they can get 1 million views, 1 million followers, right? For us, we're climbing up that ladder. We, you know, I think we got about 25 on TikTok, and then we have about I think close to 100 listeners, you know. I think last time I checked, like 93, 94. So we're getting there, you know. But I feel like for us, we can use our experience as like, hey, you know, anyone who's going to start a podcast doesn't have a following, doesn't have this, you know, this is how we did it, and you know, we're slowly building up to it, you know. But we've been, you know, grinding and whatever, doing our thing.
Yeah, dude, just your average Joe trying to make a living with this podcast, you know. That's just what it is. I mean, we're not saying we're like the number, we're gonna be this hot shot podcast, you know, but we'll continue to, you know, work, grind it out, you know, and if it leads to something great. But you know, the goal is to hopefully get a lot of listeners, you know, where we could actually make an impact in the world.
And I think it starts with us, right? It's how much we put into it, like how much we're gonna do, how many episodes, you know, how much we are start sharing on this, you know, and we can know like, hey, we haven't really been every week, every 2 weeks, you know, it might be a month, family stuff comes up, but knowing that we're eventually going to set up a routine where we're like, okay, we're going to record this, you know, we're going to record on this day, you know, if and about it, you know, like, and just make sure, because we want to bring good content, we want to make people, listeners, no, hey, we just didn't set this up and we forgot about y'all's, or it is, you know, we're going to continue doing this. So just need a little bit more time.
Yeah, that's funny. Need more time.
Yeah. But what's up, CeeLos? Anything else you got?
No, dude, just I had something else in my mind, but damn, Forgot. But yeah, dude, I was just, going back to, with this podcast, and I know we briefly, talk about it. We know we go off topic a lot, but going with this, like people that want to start a podcast or be, influencers or anything on social media, they always say like, you always have to you have to post shit,
Mm-hmm.
You have to, even if you think it's stupid, if it's cringy, if it's ass, if it's not funny, if it's nothing's, someone's out there is gonna like it, someone out there's gonna listen to it, and eventually it'll pick up traction, but the main important thing is that you have to post. You have to do what you gotta do, with this, with Ralph Barbosa, he was a comedian, how many times did he have to go to little shows, or how many stupid jokes did he have to tell, or not many people laughed at his jokes and probably told him that he sucked. You still got to go out there and push through, and with our podcast, it's such a small podcast, and we still continue to push and find ways to get together to pump out this content.
So. Well, again, I know we said it before. I think in the first episode, I think 16 when we started up again after a long break, is we're gonna continue to make that time and put more into this so we can make sure we continue growing and bring good stuff to to everyone here. So.
Yeah, they just pump out some good content.
Thoughts at the spot, and
thoughts at the spot. Will you have your thoughts at the spot? So, what is your thought? You don't have any thoughts at all?
And so, you want to talk about climate change, bro? We talked. No, we did talk. We somewhat did talk about it. It was about the electric cars, and electric vehicles.
But you seen like what's going on with like the whole, the derail of that train.
I haven't really been following that.
I mean, it's interesting to hear that like the chemicals that got released and stuff. No, I don't know too much about it either, but
no, I haven't really looked into that. I really don't watch the news, and I really don't follow up on certain things.
This fake news.
No, and it's just because I don't know, that really doesn't grab my attention unless. I guess if it's something was happening, it's gonna sound fucked up, but if it's something was happening here, then maybe I'll probably see it because I'm on KSL, whatever. But other than that, I really don't know what's going on. I've seen some videos on TikTok as far as they're talking about this was all planned. It's supposed to like kind of make people sick, and
there's always conspiracy.
Conspiracies talking about like this is a way to control. There's a way to kill us off. Blah blah blah.
It's just sometimes it's just like, man, like you can't. Everything is to kill you,
Yeah.
It's like everything.
But even with the vaccines, right? They were talking about how
the whole thing with the Super Bowl recently, bro, with Damar Hamlin, how he was there and that was a clone and all this other shit, and that he's just there because the vaccine is the thing that killed him. It wasn't even that. So the NFL's trying to. All this conspiracy bullshit.
Well, they were saying that. Yeah, I heard about that, but they were talking about how they really aren't going to disclose what really happened because it was due to the vaccine, but not really sharing anything else. And the thing about it is like, to each their own on the vaccine, right? It's like if you want to take it, take it. If you don't, then that's on you. I have some family members that didn't take the vaccine, and they got COVID maybe a couple of times, but
who gives a shit? To me, it's like I don't really give a shit if you take it or if you do it, but it's like, dude, like. Why are we making up shit? Why are we making up this conspiracy theories to stir shit up? Like with this Damar Hamlin, no one has said that it had anything to do with the vaccine. The very first thing that made it come out was those conspiracy theories about the vaccine. You know, hey, the vaccine is what made this happen to him. He recently got the booster, and that's what happens. It's like, okay, bro, like I know that's your belief. But you have no solid evidence, and you can't come out and say that until it comes supported. Either it's by your group of people or is it group by the other people. It's like we can't have this conspiracy theory because it's like, dude, like we're saying that there's a fucking clone. Like really, like dude.
And my thing is like with that is, I think what my dad, he had like the 4th booster, and he ended up going in the he was in the ICU for like 3 weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever you talk to is just like, well, he was one of the rare case. Instead of being like, yeah, maybe it was the vaccine, you know, maybe the vaccine's not really, you know, protecting how it should be. For me, it's like I really don't know what to say about the vaccine. The one that I can probably put a bit more faith on is the flu vaccine, because I know when I've gone the flu, I don't get as sick. You know.
Well, I mean, I got the flu vaccine twice.
Yeah.
The first one gave me like hives, like
Yeah.
I had like red marks, and that was the issue.
Yeah.
And I could easily hop on and be like, conspiracy theory, flu vaccine is to control you and give you spots. No, I mean, but it's realistically, it's like, bro, like we not. That stuff is just like
I mean,
conspiracy. I mean, some conspiracy theories are interesting, but some are just like, bro, like you guys don't have nothing to talk about.
And it's like I tell people, it's like conspiracy theories are fun, but also they're dangerous, because you know, as soon as you start believing in you know, do your research and stuff like that. But as soon as you start seeing and get way too deep into it, it's like a, what do you call it, a rabbit hole that you can't get out of, because it's just.
And then you get too deep in, and the government knows you're onto them, and then they kill you. Yep.
So
it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, but as far as anything is, it's like I don't know. To them, I thought that whole Damar Hamlin thing was just more of like a rating type of situation. They were like, oh, you know. I mean, they kept you know, talking about it, which I give updates and follow ups and stuff like that too, right? But they just mostly just focus on the Bills, and the Bengals were saying like, oh, like the Bills are gonna win because they have to win because of Damar Hamlin, you know, and the Bengals have nothing to lose, and they shouldn't, you know, kind of like, dude, just let them play football, you know. And
you think they should have played that game?
That's like my thought on that. And for you putting me on the spot like that, I'm just kidding.
Thoughts at the spot. Thoughts at the spot.
I feel like yeah, I feel like they should have
not that night, but another day.
Because if you
finish the game,
I don't think they should have like pushed it back or whatever. At that point, it's like why even bother, you know? If they were gonna play that night, then I don't think they should have played it any other time, you know. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, okay, the ambulance took him, whatever. But it's like they say, like any other player, like the quarterback, whatever, or just, you know, we're taken out of the game. You still play the game, you know. Then it comes the other side of me would be like, well, then you also got those, you know, what do you call it? Not your feelings or whatever, but how would like, I feel like, let's say they did play and the Bills lost. Then it would have been like, oh, they lost because all they were thinking about was that one player that's, you know, who knows what's going on. And that's why. So it's just like, in the end of the day, it's like, okay, if they would have played with that, would have been an excuse. Or maybe they did win, and then the excuse would be like, oh, the reason behind them winning is like, oh, he was there with them when they were playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's everything has a script, and everything is going to, like, the media, the NFL is going to find a way to make it all about that situation. And you know, and I feel like, let's say the Bengals won, and then it would have been like, oh, they really were kind of like not carrying the whole situation because they still played, and Damar would have made a difference, and they would have lost and whatever. And so I think they would diminish the victory of the Bengals winning. But at the end of the day, with them not playing the game and then they playing against each other in the what is it, playoff?
Divisional playoffs, yeah. Yeah,
they showed really who, you know, they showed really how it's gonna be no matter what. You know, they in this one, because they were playing at the Bengals stadium, right?
The Bills.
They were playing at the Bills. No, not the playoffs, but the
where they canceled. They were playing at Bengals.
Yeah,
in Cincinnati.
So think about it. They were already up, right? And I feel like then the Bengals went to the playoffs to their house and they beat them. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's the excuse there? You know? Oh, because Damar wasn't playing.
Damar wasn't playing
because it was cold.
Nah, it's just the Bills.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, weren't clicking that game. That's really all it is. They just weren't clicking. The Bengals played a lot better game.
Yeah, but as I'm saying though, it's always in this season. I feel like with them, it was just like they weren't clicking. And I mean, I know they didn't say it, but for me, it could easily been said, oh, it's because this one player was missing. They didn't have this one player, or they had so many thoughts about this one player. It's like, no. So hopefully this upcoming season, we can just forget about the whole situation. And that might sound heartless, but let's just play some football. That's all I gotta say. Man, you made me over here just like...
Dude, football players have feelings, bro.
No.
Football players are humans, bro.
And I know, dude. And I started becoming a fan, like 2018, right? So I'm fairly new to this, but I just see it as my point of view is this has that how I just explained. But yeah, dude, it is what it is, and let's just go for the next season. And
it took like 3 hours to change the battery, man. Damn.
Dude, we've been recording for a while, dude. Anywho, what's the other thought, bro?
But what were we talking about? Damn, man, we should have like a script or something. Like,
well, dude, you not prepared anymore, dude. You just don't care.
Well, it's just like thoughts, bro, that we're having. But I should have someone like, what did I just bring up?
We brought up about the conspiracies.
Yeah, and then you brought up the. Well, I mean, it all ties in as a community, right?
Yeah.
The whole with the Robert Bosa, the NFL community, everything comes to play in this conversation.
Yeah, and it sounds like, right, like I'm being pretty much.
You're a dick, dude.
Yeah. It's gonna come down that
like
I
whatever you said. As soon as you said something that people don't want to hear, you're a dick. No matter what, even if you have facts, if you have things proving it. If someone doesn't like what you heard, what you said, you're a dick. That's it.
It's funny because it's like, oh man, he was just talking about helping one another, and all of a sudden he's like, screw this guy.
He's like, screw the Mar Hamlin. Let's play some football. That's what.
Yeah, you can get to repeat it like that, bro.
That's. I just summarized what you said, bro. That's just what you just said was like, hey, and I don't give a fuck. Let's play some football. That's heartless, man. That's. And you care about my community, bro?
But for real though, let's just move on.
But
this leads me to somewhere somehow Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. I haven't seen Ant-Man. But
dude, I thought you were a Marvel fan, bro. I thought you'd go see him like the day.
I was gonna see it, but my dad's in town from Mexico, so that's why I hadn't had an opportunity to go. But
that's funny because I feel like you catch every movie. Thursday night.
Usually the premiere.
Yeah.
My goal one day is to like get invited to those premieres, and that'd be cool.
Like, oh shit, CeeLo's here.
Yeah, CeeLo's at the premiere.
Can you imagine, like, dude, we start getting noticed and like, oh, here's some tickets, here's some.
That'd be so cool, dude. That's what I want to do, and get invited to like 49er games or invited to the Super Bowl. And recently, right here in Utah, we had the NBA All-Star game, which that'd be freaking awesome to be part of all that stuff.
And then they're like, but they only gave us 2 tickets just for us to our wives and stuff.
Yeah, you didn't believe in us.
Yeah,
you didn't believe.
Y'all were the haters.
Y'all were hating.
No, dude, that'd be good though, but. Talking about Marvel, dude, you disappoint me, bro. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy should be good. Yeah, I know they're supposedly saying they're gonna kill off the Rocket.
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Well, looking at Ant-Man without any spoilers, I for a second I thought Thanos was right here,
It's like without any spoilers, but Ant-Man dies.
But no, seeing Thanos, I'm like, oh man, this guy's like freaking, especially I like the movie, I think it was Infinity War, where they start off and he's just killing everybody, But then all of a sudden you see...
And this is not like the full Kang. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but this Kang variant is not like the badass Kang the Conqueror. There's going to be...
Yeah, and I feel... Okay, so I you've seen Loki, right?
Yeah.
So Loki, I feel that King was badass in his own way because he let himself get killed. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's no way they would have killed him if he didn't allow it to, But this King, I feel like it's good. It's good and bad for the whole movie. I just feel like there's times where they could explain the whole situation instead of waiting halfway through the movie to kind of give more details. And I haven't been watching any other shows, so I really can't be like, oh, maybe they give a spoiler here or a spoiler there, but... I mean, so far I've been disappointed. I really didn't feel good about Wakanda Forever.
I like the movie though. It was a good movie.
You know, besides my peeps killing them, you know, and doing their thing, and at least we can talk about that.
That's where you're from.
Yeah, they're from there.
Yeah.
So I saw my peeps, and one thing I can say about that Wakanda Forever is when Suri got impaled by that thing. My head is like, okay, they did that to what do you call it? What's it called? Killmonger, and he died. All of a sudden, she doesn't die. Like, what? You know? And so it was a cheap shot taking my boy out of the water like that. You know? It was a cheap shot. Play it in a good field, you know? Be in the water and see how it
but that's not fair either, though, because she's obviously, if you're playing water, he has the upper hand.
Okay, well, not like, but at least like don't take away the water from him.
But yeah, you have to.
No, but I'm just saying because let him have the water.
Just let him have a cup of glass.
Yeah, just give him something that he can just
give him
sip
give
or
him a bottle of water.
You know, some Dasani or something. You know,
just like some cup of water.
No, I heard
so
Dasani. I heard Dasani like dehydrates you and shit with all the shit they got in there. So
that well, there you go. Make a pull of Dasani water.
Yeah. And she knew. The thing is, though, I know for a fact that she knew they wouldn't have a chance. She knew. How many? You saw what they were doing to that ship. You saw what they were doing to. There was no way that if they would have killed this guy, they still would have destroyed Wakanda, dude.
Yeah, they would have. But I mean, it's just because she's a new Black Panther, man. She's still learning. If it was Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, he would have destroyed.
Nah, not even him, dude. If it was Killmonger, dude, as Black Panther, he would have.
Oh, probably too.
He would have done his thing.
Yeah.
But I, for me, at the end of the day, she had to do that because she knew if this kept going on, we would all die, and they still would have survived.
But she could have killed him, but she didn't. Huh? She could have killed him, but she didn't.
I'm saying though, like, even if she killed him, there's no way she would have killed anyone else of my other peeps, you know? They were already getting overpowered. They got the whales, bro. They got the whales. I'm just saying how it is. She knew she was gonna lose, and so the only way is, and he even said it right at the end of the movie, like they're gonna need us. Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
And it's true. He has a big ass army. They are gonna need, and I like how he's keeping himself low key, and hopefully one of those new episodes he comes out and he does his fucking thing and he kills, he does his, because he's a badass. I feel like he was.
What I want to know is, like, where the fuck were you at when Thanos was here?
I know. He's like, shit, fuck that.
I was like, where the fuck were you at, man?
Yeah, I thought it was funny though, because I thought it was like Avatar creatures, but then they just were blue because of this.
It's like, I went to the wrong movie. This is Avatar.
Like, what the fuck? But it was good.
That was a good movie. I like Black Panther.
Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know.
I mean, it was better than Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder was alright.
Yeah, I think the only Thor that's good was the Ragnarok. Yeah. Other than that, the Thor: Love and Thunder, it was okay. Ant-Man was okay. I can put that in the list of, and it's not like I'm saying, oh man, they're being great, like Ant-Man and Wasp and all that. This one's okay. I like it was, without any spoilers. I like how they gave the story of King and stuff like that.
So what do you rate it? We should start reviewing shit.
I know we should start. We make this about like NFL and movies. There we go.
We fucking just start rating shit. Fucking bring food too. Here in local Utah, and just rate it like everyone. I mean, not just food in general. I'm saying everything.
We get all fat, bro. We're like, oh.
Like in general, everything. Yeah. Movies, sports.
Hold on. I would rate it probably like a C.
A C?
Oh shit, sorry too. A C plus.
C plus.
Wakanda, I would rate that because of my peeps.
It's like B. It's like a B. B plus.
B plus. Thor: Love and Thunder, like a C, around there.
It's like a C.
C minus. Yeah, and because I like Natalie Portman. That's one reason I gave him C.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. That's it. What is it? The new one. What's the next one that's coming up? I think it's Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Right, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, dude, we should definitely do that. Start kind of, we might like kind of shift things and rebrand it and switch it to.
Do a draft too.
Hmm?
Have you seen those drafts?
What?
On TikTok.
Like
Well, they just pick it they just pick a topic and they do a draft of it. My first overall pick is.
No. Yeah, we should definitely do that.
Like just different shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll be
put in my notebook.
I know. Siri, you suck. I'm just kidding.
Get that Mindy. Mindy put it on to-do list.
I know. It's like never on a to-do list, but no, dude. Anything else, dude? Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's it, dude. Like I said, give to your community.
Give.
Give to your community.
Don't be a dick like this.
Don't be a dick like this guy over here. But give to your community.
Love one another.
Love one another. And watch Marvel.
Yeah, watch Marvel. And take some time off before the next season starts of NFL. And we'll appreciate for your love and your support and your listens and your views. And what is it, episode 19?
Episode 19.
So I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you for the listening. We'll catch you on the next episode. And, we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Posting on TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah, TikTok, YouTube, shorts and all that stuff. Just videos there. I think we need to start opening an Instagram so we can kind of share.
Instagram, we could post behind the scenes. We were supposed to be posting behind the scenes.
I know.
But pics, some sexy pics,
Yeah.
you feel me?
Eat pics. All right, man, everyone, thank you so much.
We'll catch you on the other one.